In today's video, I want to talk to you about the 10 most common mistakes we all make when we go grocery shopping and the solutions we can use so that it's not such a chore to go every week so we can shop more efficiently and also so we can save a bit more on each of our trips to the supermarket. Will you stay with me? The number one mistake in Spain, and the reason why so much food that shouldn't be thrown away ends up in the trash, is going to the supermarket without first checking what you already have at home. How many times have you come back from the store with a bag of lentils or chickpeas without realizing you already had another one in the pantry? The solution is actually quite simple. Before you walk out the door, do a sort of reconnaissance of your territory. Check your fridge and also check your pantry. See which products are closest to their expiration date, and based on that, go to the supermarket and buy the basics you need. Making sure, of course, that they can complement what you already have at home to create your meals, maintain a balanced diet, and also avoid having to throw anything away. Mistake number two is not bringing a shopping list. Yes, something as simple and common as this, you don't need to be an Excel expert or track everything down to the last detail. Write down the things you need, starting from mistake number one, okay? What do I need for this week? What do I absolutely have to buy? One thing you can do if you're not yet used to making a shopping list is to share a note on your phone every time you run out of something. Imagine you've run out of coffee. Well, just write it down right then, since you always have your phone with you that you're out of coffee. So you keep adding to this list each week whatever is missing or running out. And this is very beneficial because it not only saves you time and headaches at the supermarket at the last minute, but it also saves you money. Why? Because if you know exactly what you need to buy, you get to the supermarket, pick up the product, pay for it, and leave. You get distracted much less by all those products in the endless supermarket aisles. Another of the most common mistakes people make when shopping is starting in the frozen foods aisle or the snacks aisle, the central ones, where you usually find potato chips and all kinds of things that really aren't worth it. What most experts in shopping psychology and consumer psychology say is that we should start shopping in the aisles where the fresh products are, like fruits and vegetables. Why? Because most of our weekly menus are based on these, and it's the smartest way to have a varied and balanced diet. So it's best to leave frozen foods for the end of your shopping trip, because if for some reason you end up spending more than half an hour in the supermarket, say you run into a neighbor and stop to chat, they probably won't make it home in very good condition. And as for the snack aisle, let's just pretend we didn't see it. Have you ever gone to the supermarket and felt a bit afraid or embarrassed about touching the fruits or vegetables, handling them to figure out which ones are best to take home? Well, yes, it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you too. That sort of fear that the stock clerk will scold you or that another shopper will give you a good telling off. But be careful, because there's something to clarify here. Yes, you shouldn't handle the fruit and vegetables excessively. Obviously, it's pretty disrespectful to others to be touching everything. But if you put on gloves and just feel the fruit to decide which one to take, that's the smartest way not to end up buying the worst produce in the supermarket. With how expensive everything is, it's not surprising that meat and fish alone take up more than half of our budget every time we shop. So one of the most common mistakes is buying everything in portions, only considering what you're going to eat, for example, today and what you'll have for dinner tonight. No, I'm going to buy this tray of chicken breasts for today's lunch, and I'm going to buy this tray with a couple of slices of hake for dinner. Buying pre-portioned cleaned servings like this is much more expensive than, for example, going to the butcher and buying a whole chicken. It gives you many more options. You have a ton of alternatives. You can make grilled chicken breasts. You can take the thighs and cook them with peppers or with baked potatoes. You can even make a broth, actually. It's the same with fish. If we buy the whole piece directly at the fish market, we have endless alternatives that these trays with pre-prepared products just don't offer us. Be careful with dairy products, because all these products that are marketed nowadays as super healthy, like all the bifidus yogurts, all the kefirs, all the high protein products, remind me of those margarines, those first margarines that were sold as a milk product, a vegetable product supposedly fully capable of replacing traditional butter. That's a lie. Later on, margarines have been talked about as one of the products we should never buy at the supermarket. Because in order to get a vegetable oil of this kind, which is what they promise it is, to solidify like this, they have had to subject it to various industrial processes, add different additives of questionable origin, and use very low quality fats. But they don't tell you this. And at this point, you might ask me, Andrea, so which dairy products should I buy? Because I have to buy dairy products. Well, I'm not a nutrition expert, but what I am buying and what I've bought up until now, which has worked well for me, which I like or which makes me feel good, are plain natural yogurts with nothing added. The most natural one you can find in the whole supermarket. Then you can have it with fruit, with nuts, with a good quality syrup, and that's it. These and also plain Greek yogurts, which I don't buy every time I go shopping, but yes, from time to time. They have a bit more fat, but they're fine. Nutritionally, I think they're good because from what I've researched on the subject, they're definitely worth it. Another mistake that almost all of us tend to make is not spending enough time in the international foods aisle. It's not just there for decoration or for you to have a themed dinner one day, although you can do that too, but you can actually use those products more often. For example, buying certain soy sauces or spicy sauces from other countries, always making sure, of course, that the ingredients in each product you buy at the supermarket are of good quality. I don't know, rice noodles, which are just that rice noodles that you can prepare in 5 minutes. It's something that adds more versatility to your weekly menus and keeps them from being so boring. Another of the most common mistakes, and I think we all fall into this one because it's actually designed for you to fall for it, is that when you face the shelf where the products are, your eyes go straight to the center, to whatever is right at your eye level. Since I'm very short, I'm a bit lower down, but you, since you're taller, you look a bit higher up. Well, I'm just kidding. The thing is, more or less at the average person's eye level, they usually place the products they want to sell you, maybe the ones that are a bit more expensive for their quality or the most common brands. And what they leave so that you never buy it, so you end up not even seeing it, are the products that are all the way at the bottom. Nobody bothers to look down there. For example, let's say you're going to buy laundry detergent, right? You don't look at the products that are down below because they don't catch your eye. What grabs your attention first is what's at your eye level, right? Well, precisely at the bottom, they usually leave products that are better priced and often have the same quality as the ones you see right in front of you. Watch out for this. Mistake number 9, and this is one of the most common ones, skimping on pantry staples, something I would never recommend. Those products could be things like salt, vinegar, or the oil you use every day for cooking or for salads. Be careful with this because we tend to say, oil is really expensive, so I'm going to buy this one because it's much cheaper. With these products, we shouldn't be counting every cent. If our finances allow it, of course, we always start from there. I'm not talking about those delicate economic moments when you have to buy whatever you can afford. I'm talking about a situation where you're financially stable and can buy good olive oil. Don't go for the cheapest option just to save those few cents, that euro or those 2 euros, because in reality you're only hurting yourself and your own health. We can save that money on many other things. That's why we make these kinds of videos and talk about many of them throughout these weeks. But with this type of product, don't cut corners. The worst mistake of all, and this is the classic of classics and it's the last one, is going to the supermarket in a really bad mood or really hungry or both at the same time. Imagine you've just finished a really tough day at work, you're completely fed up, as they say, and on top of that, you're starving. What do you think you're going to end up doing? Well, you'll end up buying everything you can get your hands on, everything that catches your eye as soon as you walk into the supermarket. Like that chocolate bar you love, those cookies, those croissants, or that bag of chips you're going to devour before you even get home. Don't do this. Go to the supermarket with a good attitude, relaxed, like it's a moment to unwind a bit, and above all, make sure you've eaten beforehand. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other mistakes you'd like to share with us and think could be useful for others, leave them in the comments. We'll all be reading them very carefully. You and I will see each other in the next video. I hope you're doing well, sending you a kiss. Bye, bye.